and sundry environment ministers and others. And it's clear to me, even today, after that long, and after the formation of some 50 or 60 anti-turbine groups across Ontario, the government has dug in its heels. Even though there is a growing body of evidence that shows these things, too close to where people live, are a health hazard. A year and a half ago, a group called the Society for Wind Vigilance held an international symposium way down in southeastern Ontario. They brought in people from around the world who were talking about the very thing that you're concerned about today, the health effects of wind turbines that are too close to where you live. And the evidence is absolutely right there, staring everybody in the face, except the Ontario government will not listen. When you talk to the Ontario government, they say studies have been done. The medical officer of health says there's nothing to worry about. When I asked the health minister herself about those studies, I said, but you got to remember, that's just existing literature. You haven't done anything new. And she said, well, yeah, no, we haven't. And I talked to the Minister of the Environment, the last one who didn't get re-elected, John Wilkinson. He had the nerve to say in one of my radio studios one day that there had been no complaints to the ministry about the health effects of turbines. We know what kind of baloney that is. The reason, many of you already know, that no official complaints had been noted by the Ministry of the Environment was because if you called up and said, I have a complaint about health effects, they said, oh, we can't take that, click. So no wonder the ministry had no record of any complaints of health effects. You know that there are health effects. Hundreds of people who have experienced this firsthand know that as well. This is a wonderful crowd today. I can only say to you, keep it up. Make the next demonstration twice as big, 3 times as big. The government has got to listen to this growing chorus from too many. All these people can't be wrong. It's not in their heads. Give me a break. Listen to some of the evidence that's out there and do one thing. Actually hire some people who can do an epidemiological study of the health effects of wind turbines. They haven't done it. They have not done that at all. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's part of it, isn't it? There are a number of speakers that you're going to be very eager to hear from today, and it's most important that you do that, and that you keep up by talking to your MPPs, writing them emails, writing emails to Dalton McGuinty, calling up his Dalton McGuinty line. Put the pressure on. More and more people will add to the chorus and will hopefully eventually mean that the Ontario government will take note, especially in this opposition Queen's Park situation that exists right today. We're hoping that anyway. And to have that study done as well. Now let's get on with listening to some of the people who are here to speak to us. And here he is, Greg Smalls. Let's hear it for Greg Smalls. Greg Smalls, along with Karen Hunter, are co-founders of Stop That Saugeen Turbine Operation Policy. And he has many things to say to you today. Greg?
First of all, Dale, thanks very much for taking your time to come up here today. We really appreciate it. Second of all, I'd like to thank all of our volunteers in the STOP organization. We've been at this for 5 months straight right now, tirelessly. Just a few folks. We really appreciate all you folks coming out today and supporting our message. And the message today is pretty simple. Shame on you, CAW! Champions of workplace health and safety, screw you! That thing makes people sick. Take the thing down.
Take it down! 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 Take it down!
Ken Loenza met last November with our deputy mayor and the president of our Beach Association. 7 of them, 2 of them. They promised them at the end of that meeting, if there's any health effects whatsoever from this turbine, he is going to shut it down. And I'm here to tell you folks today, we're going to keep his feet to the fire and make him keep that promise to the residents of Saugeen Shores. We're real happy today to welcome all of our rural partners in this epic fight across this province. It takes a lot of sacrifice for these guys to be here today, but it's a true message that the town folk of Ontario and the rural people are going to teach the urban centers what this thing is all about. It's the undemocratic rape of every person's wallet in this entire province, and it's going to be our mission to wake up unleash the beast in every person about that outrage. This turbine is a world first in the wrong way. We have 100 families living around that pole within 550 meters, which is the danger setback for this province. We have 4,000 residents living around that turbine within 2,000 meters. And 2,000 meters is the REMAX disclosure zone. It's the town of Saugeen Shores safety setback, and it's what's the common setback in Europe. And still, they do not listen. So we have a terrific legal team in place, and I can just tell you folks, we're hard at it, and early this summer, we're going to take them to task. There's not enough groups in the province that have actually instigated legal actions on a court basis. And this turbine is a precedent-setting turbine because it's a magnification of all of the problems with every turbine in this province. We have a higher density of people, and more folks are going to be affected, and more property values are going to be affected in one tight area, and it's a great case for us. We estimate about $100 million worth of property devaluation is going to happen within 2,000 meters of that pole. And let me tell you, Ken, and you're listening over there right now, I hope you got $100 million in your bank account because you lost $2 million last year running this place, and we're coming after you.
Thank you very much, Greg. Our next speaker is the Deputy Mayor of Saugeen Shores, Luc Charbonneau.
Thank you very much, Dale. And I'll repeat what Greg said. It's fantastic that you can be here with us. Even the airplanes are protesting today. You know, we've been protesting the Green Energy Act, this wind turbine, the FIT program that allows this turbine to be here for going on 3 years now. We've been doing things like this around the province. We've been taking to the streets. We've been writing letters to the Premier, writing letters to the ministers. We've been meeting with ministers. The town of Saugeen Shores has passed resolutions. We've written letters. We've passed new regulations that are more stringent than the Green Energy Act. A few weeks ago, a number of local politicians from around our region walked out on the Premier of this province at the Ontario Good Roads Convention in order to protest this, under the leadership of Mr. Mark Davis, who's over there. We have done all that. Your MPPs they've been very vocal. They've had private members' bills for moratoriums. They've done all sorts of things, and yet still somehow Premier McGuinty doesn't get the message.
He's a dictator.
You know, just a couple of weeks ago, the FIT review came out. You might have heard of the FIT review. And in the lead up to the FIT review, the Premier was saying, this is where we're going to find new ways for public consultation in this process. Well, the FIT review came out, and you know, there was a little bit more public consultation. Municipalities that really, really, really desperately want more wind turbines get to get them more quickly now. So, thank you, Mr. Premier. It's an unbelievable thing that the Premier believes, after all that protesting, and after all those letters, and after all that, that the reason why we in rural Ontario are angry is because we can't get the turbines fast enough.
They're dumping them in Europe.
It makes you want to go outside on a very windy day like this and put your head between the blades, doesn't it? So, my message to you today is that we can't get anywhere with the province anymore. The provincial government is set in its ways. It's not going to change. It's not going to change the FIT program. It's not going to change the Green Energy Act. The only way that there's going to be a change is with a change of government.
Get rid of them. Must go.
I'm going to leave that to my friend Bill Walker over there to take care of. But the thing that we can do here is more of this. Jeez. Better watch that turbine. Well, maybe you should try to get a little left. We need to do more of this. We have to take this fight to the gates of the proponents of these turbines. We have to go to their doors and we have to demand that they have respect and that they pay regard to the health and safety of the people who are their neighbors. They have to take responsibility. The CAW has to take responsibility. Just as Greg mentioned last November, Mr. Loenza made a promise directly to me. Sat across the table from me and promised that he would not allow this turbine to hurt a single person, would not allow it to harm a hair on their head or a cochlea in their ear. Well, we're going to hold him to that promise. The town of Saugeen Shores has asked the CAW to fund third-party monitoring of this turbine so that we can be sure, we can get the data that we can take to him and we can say, Mr. Loenza, here's the issue, now live up to your promise. The CAW hasn't got back to us yet on that, surprisingly. But that's why we need you to be here, to protest, to bring this fight to the door, to keep the fight up at the gates of the CAW and keep their feet to the fire so that they know that they have to live up to that promise that they've made to me and they made to all of you. That's what I want to do. I want to thank you for being here. I want to encourage you to keep up the fight. And I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the speakers this afternoon. So thank you very much. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Luke.